Excellent. So for the rest of the year, we are going to be working from student choice photos. I'll pick the one that I think is the easiest to do. And we will, and so this is Jackie's troublemaker cat. You can see just by the look on his face, and he is always getting into trouble.
What's his name?
Yeah, what's his name?
August. Great.
So there's August with his leg in one shoe, assuming I think he can walk away. One of the things I want to point out though, and I want to show you the, Lisa, are you on this thread? Do I need to add you? By the way.
I'm on it. I've been a couple times.
Okay.
I'm on.
So I want you to notice something about the color version of this. What's the one sort of problematic element about this black and white? Can you guys see it? Can anybody, what's the one problem?
The shoe is the same value as the background.
Right, which you wouldn't really guess from looking at the color version, right? So this is a lesson to us about like how color and value, so you could make yourself crazy trying to make something that seems much lighter than the dark shoe, but actually isn't that much lighter than the dark shoe. Hi, Julia. Good to see you.
Hello.
Yeah. Welcome back. So as we work this through, we're going to, our solution to this is going to be to make this background lighter than it is. Right, but the challenge will be to make it dark enough so that the cat is shown. Because in ink, the cat is like mostly, right? This is a mostly light cat. Although I'll try to point out the variations of dark and of medium and dark. Hi, Lisa. So I'll try to point out the variations of medium and dark as we go through this. I'm going to demo in ink. By the way, next week, I think I'm going to spend the week of December demoing in charcoal. You, of course, can pick whatever you want to demo in. And then we'll go back to pencil and paper for a little bit in January. That works for you guys? All right, so let's look at our favorite thing, measurements. Let's look at the measurements. So the first thing I'm going to do is kind of take the tallest part of the cat, right, from vertically from top to bottom. Then I'm going to draw a line down here so we kind of see where the shoe is, okay? So, and then the second thing I'm going to do is find the halfway point. So if you're working in pencil, you can totally do that. Let's see, 1, 2. So that's the very first thing I always do when I'm measuring something is to find the vertical distance, the tallest vertical distance, and then find the halfway. So in this case, the halfway kind of goes across here. Often, interestingly enough, it tends to be the widest point horizontally. In this case, I think that's true. But in any event, I find this line by getting to the halfway point. So if I'm going to do that, I don't believe I really need to demonstrate ink. I think you guys, those of you who are using ink. So if you're using your pencil, you can like, here, I've got my water, and then I've got my ink, right, my ink bottle. So I'm dipping my brush in the ink. I've got a little bit of paper you can't really see. I guess I'll just do it here so you guys can see it. I want it kind of light gray like this. So I'm going to start, and we have to be really careful because this is a light cat, right? So here is my halfway point. Here's my vertical distance. I'm going to lightly find my halfway point. And then this distance, are they the same? Interesting. Let's see. To check and see if they're the same, you'll notice here I'm taking my implement, my drawing implement, and I'm lining it up with the one side, and then I'm putting my thumb here where the width is, the length of the width. So, oh yeah, look, he's exactly the same at the widest part of the cat. He is the same as the height. How often does that happen? And it looks like almost, my God, this cat is in like a perfect square. This is the halfway point of the horizontal. So this is really, in some ways, these measurements are super simple and straightforward. Really, they're just here and here. Right? It's like an equidistant set of points. So does anybody have questions about that before we go on? Go ahead and
You're doing it slightly offset, Leah, even the cat's kind of to the right.
yeah, I'm just keeping him, yeah. You can put him in the center or you can move him to the right if you want to. I'm not that interested in any of this, so I don't really care. Yeah, good question. Really good question. So go ahead and send me your little constellation of points.
Are we going to do the shoe?
Yeah, but we're gonna stabilize our cat first before we get to there. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'm going to.
Leave room for the shoe on the,
Yeah,
okay.
yep. And in fact, I wonder, 1, 2, 3. Yes, if we were to divide this into quarters, this line into quarters, so if you want to leave room for the shoe, right? So this is a quarter. If you go down 1/4, that's where the shoe ends. So all you need to do is come up here, find the quarter point. You're seeing I'm actually just taking a little bit of ink from my finger that was still wet to mark how much further down the shoe goes. So this is our bottom. If you're putting in the shoe, it's 1/4 of this, 1/4 down from here. If you want to, you can leave him a little to the left. You can center him. Let's see. And Jackie, don't go so dark. That's the only thing I'll say. The lighter, the better. Even more water. 1, 2. 1, 2. Yeah, and just go down. Half of one of this looks great. Because the real challenge with this is that we've got to go very, very light. In fact, I'm even going to lighten this so that we on this halfway point, because this cat is mostly white. So it's going to be, our first sketches are going to be super watered down. See how light this is when it dries? So if you're doing it with your pencil, go ahead and just send it to me. I'm gonna wait till I see a couple of measurements. I don't have to see everybody's, but I'd like to see some. And I wonder if I were to do, we might just do this.
Is it the tail is out of a picture, right? That's a bit of tail at the end.
No, there's no tail.
but
I mean,
there
a
isn't-
little bit, it's a little puffy.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's out of a
just
picture.
there. Yeah, you can't really see it. I was looking to see, I'm kind of sketching in, I was looking to see if it would make sense to sketch in. I don't think we should sketch this into our paper, but I want you to look at this. If I were to draw a little diamond, little bits of the cat pop out outside the diamond, like the ear, right? Like this back part of the body. The rest of the cat kind of fits in the diamond. So don't sketch in the diamond, but keep the diamond in your mind. I mean, if you've got a pencil, you can sketch in the diamond, since we're working in ink. particular sketch helpful just to show you, because we tend to get too big in places. So it helps to be able to see, okay, what part is contained within this little grid box that we have created, this little diamond. Let's see. Looks good, Julia. Oh, Bettina, looks good. Sorry, let me look at Julia's now. Okay. Yep, looks good. All right. So as we start to go forward, although I'm not going to sketch this in, notice that there's only certain parts here that kind of jut out over the, where he sort of busts out of the confines of this box, if that makes sense. So when we start our sketch, which I will get here, I'll get to that. And yellow. Show up really well. And I'll send a picture of this as well. Right? When we start our sketch, it helps us to kind of see where things are. And then the shoe, if you want to do the shoe is kind of that shape. So I'm going to send a picture of this. Does everybody get why I did that? Does everybody understand what the purpose of that diamond is? If you don't, let me know now. I know I sometimes kind of jump ahead in my excitement over measurements. It's really kind of about using negative space and then the space kind of outside our basic geometric shapes. I would not look at this cat and think he was a square, but he really is mostly, you know. So this is, as you get more practice in art, you get a little bit better at seeing these kind of shapes. So I'm going to make sure my ink is super watered down. I've actually got two, I've got down here as well. I've got two places to sketch out my thing. So I want it super light. So as I come down here, like this, and notice as I do the ear, that after that, he comes kind of within the box. He's kind of contained here. He doesn't come all the way to the, well, I guess he wouldn't come to the corner. I guess technically the box should come here. Actually, let me redraw that so it's more accurate. There we go. All right, so he does pop out a little bit on this side too. Oh, meow. So here's the box. Yeah, he comes kind of right to the edge. And then he pops out a little bit down here. I know I'm not going to get everything exactly right. I'm using negative space here. Right, for that little paw sticking out in the front and over here too. Such a funny looking shape. And then he kind of goes up and poops out just a little bit. This is why nobody does this, teaches themselves to do it. I mean, this shape looks just ridiculous. It is. It is the cat. And then if you're doing the shoe, the shoe will come out just a little bit. We want to like sort of define it. If it comes out to here, here to here. Yep. If I want to go another quarter point this way at the halfway point, the shoe doesn't go any further out than that. So even though I'm not drawing it, I'm coming down here. I can kind of see where this shoe starts. And it comes almost in geometric patterns in a setup, like straight line down, straight line out, straight line down. Straight line across. Straight line out. I think I went too low there. Yep. Oh, thank God you can erase with ink. So there's kind of the beginning. Weird little drawing, so weird. Let us marvel at how weird shapes are. I'm not convinced I have this exactly right. So as this dries, I'm going to ultimately define it probably with my pen. Oops. Here. So you guys can see it. Here is the modified. There we go. Look at the yellow triangle, not really the orange as much. And then I was hoping we would see Diana today. Lisa, I guess you don't know where she is. You're on vacation. Maybe she'll pop on a little later. What does it look like? A pig, a kind of stunted guinea pig? I don't know. You'll actually notice, I'm going to switch up our drawing to a new thing after this, that when we get into the shapes of the actual cat itself, the cat is defined by very light gray shades. Like the head is actually defined by sort of slightly lighter gray around it. So it's not an entirely white cat. So you're gonna, so we're sort of training ourselves to see these things. Francesca sent this picture, by the way, for next week or the next time we meet. I thought that one would be kind of cool. But seriously, so if you want to see your imagery, send me a picture. Let's see. Julia. Oh, Julia, let's see, wait, let me double check it. Nope, it's in good shape. Good shape right now. Not bad, Jackie, good. Jackie, your shoe needs to come further to the left. Look at this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yep, it's one, if you come here and you check the measurement, it's another quarter measurement. So it's the same distance out here.
All right.
Let's see. Bettina as, well, let me see. Yeah, so Bettina, your shoe. Something's off with the shoe. I'm looking to see what it is. Hang on. You have your shoe coming all the way up to the up to here, this point, right? It's really down lower.
Okay.
And it's not just one line. It's I'm gonna really sketch it out so you can see it. it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. See that? So it's a straight line out, a straight line down, a straight line out, a straight line down. And it starts about here.
Okay.
Here is the edge. Here's the corner of that box. It starts down there. That's what's up. Don't worry. Of course, you can totally erase it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we have enough people, so I'm gonna go on here. Just debating whether I want to go to this one. Maybe on the next one. I'm gonna sketch in the next set of shapes and then I'll switch to a new drawing so you can see. So here's the head. Do not try to sketch the eyes in, please. Not until you get the shape of the head. Here are some of the, notice that this line doesn't come all the way up to the edge here. There's a kind of a gray. Actually, everything is sort of dark here. I'm looking. Okay, Lisa, your foot needs to be contained. You have your leg coming all the way down below your
My diamond.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
went totally, in fact, the entire, you need to erase everything from about here and go bring that up to where it needs to be.
Okay.
Interesting how we drift down, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even when you like move beyond. It's like the left brain just, fighting. fighting with ourselves. So let's see here. I'm just always struck by how easy it is to sort of drift. So you're going to see everywhere there's a yellow line internally in this cat, there's a slightly shaded area. So we're going to, what did I do with my pen? I just had it for a second. Yeah. So still with the lightest of, really the lightest of inkies. I haven't even gone back into my ink. And I'm dipping in my water many times. The lightest of ink, I'm going to go in. I can also see there's a couple of things that are helping me figure out where things are. So immediately I can see that my ear is too high. You know how I can tell? I can tell because these ears are lined up, and look at what they line up with. They line up with this point, which is about 1/3 of the way down. So I'm gonna, good, this is really good. So you guys are gonna see how to correct this. So this ear is way too high. I also can see that this ear lines up right with the center line here. So I'm gonna come down like this. I'm gonna come down like this. Look at how off I was. I'm gonna come to the edge here. I'm going to put my second ear here. And then I'm going to go in with slightly darker ink and darken around the top. I'll definitely define this more clearly, but you see how I'm able to kind of erase that first line a little bit. And I'm not even going that dark, but I am going like a little bit darker. So I made that mistake. Now I'm fixing it with ink. Isn't that awesome? I'm sorry, I fix your mistakes with ink. I actually love it when I make a mistake. This is why I never practice these things, because I'm like, if I make a mistake, I'm also paying attention to the fact that this kitty's face comes up, there's about this much white space in the neck. There we go. So this kitty space is much smaller generally than I thought it was. I want to leave a little bit of space here so that I've got this white from the neck. And then I'll sketch in. And these are like really super helpful. I can see that this little area, kind of this sort of dark stripe back here, swoop, kind of lines up a little bit lower than the ear. So I'm just looking, and then maybe down here, it's a little bit darker on this side. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. I'm like, art just never ceases to amaze me. Like we go from kind of stupid looking guinea pig porcupine thing to something that looks much more kitty-like. And the head was so much smaller than I thought it was. But because I have this containment field, I'm able to sort of rein in my proportions. I am always blown away by this. This is why measurements are so wonderful. This is how you can erase with ink. I used to have a student here in Portland who's so funny. She would like always be like, I put the arm here and really it's over here. She loved like showing like where she was off and then fixing it, particularly with figure drawing. Here, let me take a picture of this. I'm gonna go like pour myself one more cup of coffee because I got started a little late this morning. But this is what my kitty looks like right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna do two, one of the face and then the body. So I'll send you the face that I've sketched so far, if that's okay.
Okay.
Oh, Lisa, sorry, Leah, I
Yeah.
just sent you my, oh no, I'm sending it now, sorry.
Okay, I'm looking. I think his eyes are too close together.
Okay.
So look at the measurements here. So the face, so the width of the face at the eye level, right,
Mhm.
is the same as the height, not including the ears. And then 1, 2, 3, 2, It's a full 5 eyes across that
Okay.
this center.
I can do that with my
And
canopy.
and the other thing I want to see is, let's see, interestingly, yeah, here's the halfway point right here, Sandra. So his eyes are on the lower half of his face, starting at the very middle. This is not the middle of the face, right? This is the middle of the face and the body.
So they need to be slightly lower, don't they?
Yep, they need to, if you want to
Little
look
bit.
at it, if I was to draw this like this, right? There's the halfway point. So that's, and they're slightly angled and, you know what I
Yes, the
mean?
left one is lower.
Right, because his head is a little tilted. Lisa, 1, 2. Yep, that works better, Lisa. Yes,
Okay,
Good.
now I gotta figure out the shoe. I'm having trouble with the shoe.
yep. The shoe should be broken down into 4 planes, and it shouldn't go any lower than 1/4 down. So the shoe is, if you want to box the shoe in, the shoe is 1/4 down and then 1/4 over. See that? 1/4 over, 1/4 down
Down from the bottom of the foot.
of the foot, right?
Okay,
And then 1/4 over is how far out it goes.
thank you.
Jackie, that looks pretty good. Bettina looks better. Yeah, let me see. I'm looking to see, looks good. Good job, you guys. I see this nice little, Bettina, I like, see, you were way less, I was way more off than all of you. Bettina has a little tiny line here where she fixed that. Jackie has a little bit of a line, but you guys did not mess it up half as much as I did. So good job. Excellent. Give me 1 more second. I'll be right back. Okay. It's interesting, isn't this, to see like where you think things are versus where they actually are. All right. Let's draw some of the, for those who are working on the shoe, we'll draw some of the inside shapes of the shoe. I just love my people at the coffee shop who do all the printing for me because I still haven't got a new printer, but it's frustrating because they give me this kind of shiny paper, which is difficult. There we go. So there's kind of a simplified version of the shoe. Right, once again, we're dealing with the top, the side coming here, the front, the side. Julia, look, hold on, I'm checking with you. I know you jumped ahead with the eyes. I'm checking your measurements now. Okay. Good job. Good job. You got it. You got it. Very, very nice. So if you know what to do, of course, keep going, right? Like Julia, great. Like, and it's easy to get things too big. I'm impressed with how you guys are, how do I want to say it? It's like you're holding yourself back from, you know, racing forward too much, or you're just getting better at this problem solving. I'm impressed. So here's the shoe. We can't really see too much more right now. I'm going to switch to a new photo once we get in here. This is fun. Jackie, are you enjoying drawing your kitty, August?
Yes, well, I think that I need to give credit to my husband's shoe. He was very
Yeah.
upset
with.
This is his shoe.
That's awesome. Seriously, you guys, we'll draw and I'll draw it. Lisa, if you take a good picture of that view, we'll do it in watercolor painting class. If you like, seriously, I can
Okay.
do it. Send it over.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, because if I look straight out, it's mostly water. I need to compose a good. look.
You need to get that pier in,
Okay.
right? That dock
Yeah.
in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
That's the painting. That's the sort of famous painting that everybody likes to do. And
The pier.
yeah, the pier, right? The pier going out to the water. It's kind of magic. Yeah, I've been watching your Instagram and you've had some beautiful pictures. So I'm like, oh my God, I should send her a note and tell her to take pictures. And
Oh,
same for you guys. Like when you're on vacation, send them over. I'm really kind of open to drawing anything. I want to keep this class more basic. So I don't imagine we're going to be doing much face, figure, or, face or figure. But like those are separate classes, but which I want you to kind of graduate to. But we can do kind of everything else. And I think it's helpful to kind of do things that you pick. That's one of the things that makes it sort of, I don't want to say tedious is the word. It makes you want to kind of push through when things are hard, when you pick your own, when you identify your own subject matter. Also helps with voice and what you like to paint. And I mean, I'll take a picture. I have right here, like the second painting I ever did in my life. I'm going to send it here. It's right up above my drawing board. And that was 20 years ago. And there's some things that are really good about this painting and some things that are not very good about this painting. But, I spent a lot of time, over the years, I spent a lot of time drawing cityscapes with these very close in looking up perspective. I mean, 3 years ago, that's all I was painting. And then I found this painting, my mother had it. And I was like, oh my God, that's what I've been doing since the beginning. Like we forget, right? Because we go through so many subjects. So it's nice when you pick your own imagery, you kind of figure out, like Sandra, right? Works with her own imagery quite a lot. So she knows what she likes and it helps inform what she does. So anyway, I just encourage it. Let's do that in this class. And then we'll all go with each other on our little journeys. I'm just trying to decide if there's anything, right, and then we will deal with the face simply. So you'll notice that the conversation I was having with Sandra and Julia was that here's kind of the center and the halfway point is about here. Yeah, and it's kind of slanted. So the eyes really go below the halfway point. They're actually riding on the edge. And not only that, if you were to measure the distance across 3, 4, 5, they are exactly 5 eyelets across. So the top of the eye, so I'm measuring here to see 1, 2, there's a space between the eyes, that's 1 eye width. I should do this here so you can really see it. Here, I'll do it even here. So you can see this orange line is kind of how the cat's head is cocked. And look at from here to here, it's 1 eye width. There's the next eye width. And then there's a width in between. Right, and then there's another width, and then there's another width, kind of right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As I'm starting to sketch this, it's way lower, and they're smaller, and kind of slanted. I'm not really even getting all the details. I'm just kind of putting them in place. And then the nose kind of is down here. There's the mouth. There's like a couple lines. We'll really get into the detail of this. It looks so pop-eyed here. There's going to be a lot of pen work that will pull out these eyes.
Yeah, there's something that throws me. I'm looking at that picture again,
Mhm,
and on what is our left-hand side,
mhm.
along the face, there's a part that's a bit in shadow.
Yeah,
That's like ghostly shape. But
yeah.
on the right, there is also that shape.
Well, yeah,
And I'm only seeing it now.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
It's just lighter.
and I don't think it's, yes, but your yellow line of there's
Well, don't worry about that. I'm gonna move this so that you can see
Okay.
it. We're just not there yet. So don't get too focused on that until we get like until we get the other shapes. There'll be a place for that, I guess, is my point. But and I'm about to move this, but I want to make sure everybody gets their pieces before. Mine's looking pretty mushy because I'm still working with the pen, kind of waiting for it to dry. I just don't want to remove it yet until everybody gets to this point, and then I'll move it. See, I have another guy under here, so we can look at it. Also, you have it in the thread too. Yeah, Bettina looks pretty good. Looks pretty good to me. Remember, wait a minute, there's one thing I want to check. I feel like your face might be a little bit too low, but let me look. You're pointing a little bit up here, Patina, so this is what you're doing. If you look at your piece, you'll see I think you're a little bit going up here like this, which makes him look a little bit more hunched back. I believe he's a little bit more slanted to the right on that shape. Otherwise, things are looking good. Otherwise, looks good. And of course, hopefully we'll have a little time to try this again. Once. I kind of like it at this wishy-washy stage. Great measuring, Jackie. Yep.
Eyes are low.
Yeah, they are. And small and wide
Yeah.
apart. Yep, they are. Indeed. That's the biggest problem that people have with drawing animals is they make the nose too long or too short. We don't get these proportions right. Yeah. I think I believe your shoe is coming out way too far. But I don't know. We'll deal with that in a minute. Also, I think you also, Jackie. Your kitty face. You're also pointing up you're coming up too much here on the top to the left. You need to kind of, he looks kind of hunchback. You need to bring
so lower.
that
Yeah.
in that.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good job, you guys. We can all deal with that. That's an easy thing to deal with. All right. I think you guys are kind of in a good shape here. Should I keep going? Shall I remove this? You have it if you need it. I'm going to take a look at this now so I can see what I covered up with the first version. So Sandra, it's just like a slightly, let's see, I'm going to do it in pencil so that you
like a ghostly shape.
Yep, it's the same shape, it's just less dark, right? So this is like a 2, And this is like a 3.
And what I found is that therefore it means that the space he has between the corner of the eye and the cheek on the left, he has exactly the same space on the right, and that's exactly the space in between the eyes.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. So when you're starting to sketch that out, right? So now we're in this position of like, okay, I'm not going to start with the face. There's 1 or 2 things more I'm going to do with the brush. I'm getting more ink on my brush and getting the bigger shapes, kind of darker shapes first. So I'm going to come in here and sketch in this shape. I can come back and get darker. And I wouldn't worry so much right now. Let's see. Yep, I think that's it. And then I really do want to kind of get the shoe just a little bit darker so that it's, because that's really the super defining thing is the shoe. So you see how I've gone in, these little pesky drippy things. Oh, I've gone in, and I think at this point I'm going to go in with the pen, but I wanted to get kind of my darks in. So Lisa, look, this cat's very symmetrical. Let's see. 1, 2. You're kind of tilting him a bit too much. Straighten here more. He's pretty symmetrical all the way around. So
Okay.
there's too much of a bump here. And actually you have his face kind of coming beyond the body. Look, his face is
Oh.
contained within the body. That's probably why
Yeah.
you're having problems. You're trying
Yeah, I
to
see
work
that.
with that
Okay.
shape. Yep.
Okay.
Pull him in, pull him in.
Okay.
But good job, right? This is the kind of work that we want, that we need to kind of do, is this as this kind of pulling ourselves back all the time, like this point that Sandra made about, yeah, he's got a cheekbone on this side and on this side. It's just a little bit darker, right, on this side. I'm going to take a picture of this because I drew this in with a pencil so that it wouldn't be too disruptive when we start to sketch it, but it's really helpful to see it. He's got little cheekbones. He's like, I am handsome and I know it. Therefore, I can get away with anything. Mine is still looking a little cockeyed. I hope I can fix it when I get to the pen level, which is about now. I'm going to come in and start adding some pen lines. I'm going to start here. So the nice thing about the pen is that the pen doesn't really give you more than a couple of lines before you have to stop. There we go. So see how I kind of bled up a little too much, but I can address this by pulling in my lines with my contour lines with the pen. I want to be careful, that's kind of dark. Cross here. So here's where I start to, I got a little too much, here's my blankie. Got a little too much dark in here. Actually, you can sometimes kind of like lift off. I don't know if I can come back from this one. We'll see. And sometimes kind of And I know that Lisa, and you'll watch this as you see as I'm coming through here,
Okay.
that the ear comes in, the face comes in, right? Oh, damn, this is still wet. Okay. So the face comes down and into this shape before here. Here's the outer shape. Here's the outer shape of the kitty. The face comes down and in. It's almost like it's kind of square across the bottom, and then there's this little. Oh, man. If there was ever a do what I say, not what I teach, it's today. Anyway, let's see. I'm going heavy and dark here, so we'll see if I can recover from that. Too little, too heavy, and too dark. I'm going to actually get some water on a napkin and see if I can pull off a little bit of the dark that I got down here. Maybe. I may have just made it worse. Wait, let's see. Stop mucking around, move forward. I'm gonna move forward. There may be areas that are too dark. Anyway, just know that this is kind of the danger area where you might muck up and have to try it again.
What is it that you did wrong, Leo?
I got too dark down here.
Oh, I see.
I'm gonna see if I can work with it. I'm gonna see if I can work with it. We'll see. I'm gonna start adding in, maybe I'll be like, yeah, those are expressive lines. But I may have gotten a little dark. Okay. Notice that the kitty's eyes kind of come down a little bit. It's so tempting to get too big with this. Get too big with your eyes. So I'm noticing, I'm trying to like, yeah, there we go. I feel like the eyes are probably pretty good. Before I get into any detail. I kind of like how my mark making oh yeah, that's pretty good actually. It's okay. We'll see about the rest of it. So I'm just kind of really lightly outlining. And if I want to be really specific, between the middle of the two eyes here, it's one eye length down where the little nose is. Well, maybe I went too high. Notice I'm doing a lot of softening of lines if I think I get them in the wrong place. My kind of stock response, or yeah, it needs to come down just a little bit lower. Yeah, so although I got a little bit dark down here, I'm not really despairing that much. I you know, I might still do it over. If I was like doing this as a present for Jackie, maybe I would be like, okay, that's just too dark for that. You know, it doesn't exactly look like the cat. But I kind of like the detail. However, take this in hand, people, and don't go too dark. I'm once again wetting a paper towel and kind of trying to pull off some of the darkest parts. I like this about ink. It kind of makes you, and I like how on this side, it kind of created the cheekbones for me. Here it's like lighter. I don't necessarily want to get that crazy. That was a big mistake here. I'm gonna let the face dry while I work around the edge. Of the cat. That's a good idea. Go away from the problem areas. Let them dry a little bit before you return to them. I'm kind of working around the contour edges of the cat. If you look closely, you'll see there's like his little feet are kind of back here. And there's a soft dark as shadow here that kind of highlights his body against his leg, but I'm not getting too into that. Actually, I'm strangely really liking this, even though it's full of pitfalls. So this is Inkman, like just continuing to go forward. And if there's one thing I could do for you guys, it's to show you how to do that. So watch me mess up. And then try to pull it back again. Actually, that's not too bad. Look at how look at how we haven't even really finished working this, but look at how these lines, these hard lines interact with these soft edges. I'm going to do the same thing for the shoe. Interesting. I weirdly like it, even though it's a little bit lopsided. I'm going to stop and let it dry. I'm going to send a picture of it right where it is. So I feel like there's this, I'm not sure I can really recover from this dark area down here, but I think a lot of the other things are working pretty well. We'll see. Maybe I can put some wash on it, white wash. Oh, I'd also like to get darker like darker in the darkest parts of the shoe, like kind of in here. So I'm going in with ink here. Here. Kind of coming back in and darkening the spots. See them with my brush. Half the time you kind of like what you do, and half the time you don't. With ink, you're not so excited. So it's all about kind of what can I live with?
I kind of like his face. Yeah, yours.
Yeah, I am too, even though it's not, I do, there's something about it because everything's sort of in the right places, but there's these kind of mushy, I think I might have wrecked it. Here, I put too much dark in this eye. Here, let's see if I can get that out. Yeah, oh yeah. I know, I do too. So you'll notice this one dark, I'm gonna have to go back in when this dries and try to redefine that edge. But I agree, there's something about it that has a kind of, and that's what I mean. So we have these like sort of soft, edgy areas. Sometimes those mushy areas can be really beautiful. And the other thing I'm doing right now is kind of, medium brushing around the edge of the cap so that some of August's lights show up. Ooh, I dipped into some ink that was still wet on its edge. So let's see, come over here and dip it again. Yeah, there's something weird I like about it too.
I like the shape.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I know what you mean. That was the interesting relationship I was having as I was like, oh, this is not what's going on. I was actually interestingly finding that there was something about my mark making that I liked. And so that's the mystery of art, right? Like that we have these, even sometimes our mistakes, we can kind of grow to love. Sometimes our body and our hand knows more what we want, and our heart, I would say, knows more about what we want to do than our mind, our intellectual mind does. Yeah. Isn't that a crazy? That talk about radical acceptance, right? I think the older we get, the more we have to move towards radical acceptance, right? Of how things are versus how we want them to be, about ourselves and about the world, right? Like about how this is. And that is also applied to our drawings. And I think the more you can radically accept who you are and what you do and what how you present in the world, how you lay your marks down, the better your life is, because you're not fighting it. My dad, who is 81, is actually pretty much as vigorous as fairly vigorous dude. Like I feel like he's fairly vigorous, and he's pretty much like he always was, except he's a little shakier. And I asked him once, we were teasing him, and I asked him once, what is it like we were teasing him about getting old. What's it like to be 80, Dad? And he said, it's okay as long as you don't mind losing things. So, right, this is radical acceptance.
Did he mean losing his keys, or did he mean losing his friends?
He meant everything. He meant all of it. Losing pieces of yourself as a young person, right?
Right.
Losing your youth. He meant it in every way. And I thought that was a very profound thought.
I guess just could look at the bright side and think he is still alive.
It's amazing.
Oh, it's hard.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard.
Okay, I'm gonna send you where I'm at.
This is definitely one, you guys, that you might want to try again. We've got like 45 minutes. So as you're working through it, yeah, send me where you're at. I want to see. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Good, Sandra. Good. Measurements are great. So the biggest issue, Sandra, is to remember that on this side, here I'm going to take a close-up of this so that you can see it. These are not equally shaded. The shading on this side is a 2. The shading on this side is a 3.
Oh, okay.
So if you can darken that, and that's,
Yeah.
you know, I remember intellectually when I finally understood that, I was like, I knew that like there was always shading on the cheekbones on both sides. And I struggled with it until I realized, oh, on the light side, it's 1 tick lighter than it is in the dark side.
That's, yeah.
It's helpful, right? To understand, because we want to make it.
Well, it's because initially I find it useful to use the same shade, because then you can go darker, but you've got the light shade into
So Jackie, this isn't bad, although I still feel like, yeah, I feel like I want you to reshape up here. He looks a little fat to me.
He does.
So I think you're either too high. I still think you're going kind of up here.
Yeah.
Reshape him with your background.
Okay.
Yeah, he's too wide.
Mhm.
He's too tall. Really, he shouldn't be. Yeah, it's just here.
I actually think what's happening is that I've started the lower side of the back too close to his ear. I should have started further back.
The lower side of his
See where his
back.
back meets his sticking out.
Yeah, you're right. Yep, you're right. Definitely pull that in.
Yeah.
So. Yep, absolutely. There's a lot of struggle in this one, you guys, so don't stress out. And don't stress out if you even mess it up and you want to start over. That's what ink is all about. Lisa, he's a little too, eyes are too, let's see, too close together.
Okay.
Remember, that's the start. And then notice he is a little bit, you've made him a little bit too long here. So he's looking too wide. So this needs to come up a little bit. This bottom part needs to come up a little bit more here.
Okay.
It's helpful, isn't it? This was good drawing practice. I can see it.
Yeah. This cat is driving me a little nuts.
Yeah, everything will. Everything that I give you will. It's funny, we've had this sort of lovely influx of people from Central and South America come in the last couple of weeks from the Reuters bureaus. And one of them took the abstract art class on Tuesday. And Stephanie Erschenbacher, really lovely. And she was like, what's nice about the abstract art class is it's less about getting all these pieces right and more about kind of respecting composition and blah, blah, blah. It's a little bit more, and she was really loving it. And one of the things she said to us was that I love this because what I'm doing here is right. And what I'm doing, and then I was like, oh, shoot, I spent a lot of time telling people that, in a figurative class, it's more work. You're going to spend a lot of time correcting. But I still think the process is kind of worth it. I still think it's relaxing, even though I'm correcting you a lot. I hope.
Presumably you in the non-figurative class.
Yeah,
you
we
let
were
go
in a
of
non-figurative
expectations.
class. She was loving the non-figurative. I would highly recommend that you guys try the non-figurative class. It's at 6:30 on Tuesday nights, Eastern time. So you may or may not be able to catch it. But it's a great class. It's a really great class. You're still learning a lot. Yeah. I feel like you've got him a little too square, Sandra. If you look, he kind of pouches out here, right? And then
Right.
comes in, and you've got him almost like triangle, like he's almost
So it
like,
doesn't come out enough on the left.
yeah. I might try this one again, just to get that outer shape of the head and pay more attention to the outer shape of the head. Because this dark went a little bit too much, right? Here. If you can see, the shapes are not the same. This is more a down and an out. You've got them kind of more
Oh, it doesn't come down enough.
horizontally across, right? I mean, you can try doing that, but I also think there's a kind of I just think it might be worth it to try it again since we have
No.
time. Yeah,
It's not worth trying again.
it's not worth trying again.
No.
Okay.
It's just changing the shape. I can see where you're holding it, but my
Okay,
shape
try
is below the ear.
Try it.
You always want to say you have to push through, and now you say to try again.
Busted. You got me. You caught me. All right, change the shape here, see what happens. That's awesome.
Well, sometimes with ink, you just can't fix it, right?
Sometimes you can't
push
fix
through.
it. I'm not convinced that I do like this cat that I've drawn, but I'm not sure that I might, if I was to like do this, say as a commission or something, I would probably do it again because I wouldn't think I have the likeness, but I do like some things about it. Having said that, I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're right, Stan. You got me. That's so pretty. I like to say, try it again with ink just because we usually have time for that, right? Because it moves us so fast. And now since I'm here, I'm like, oh shoot, did I bring it in? Oh darn, I don't have my paints with me. Gallery. Well, never mind. I was gonna say maybe I'll get some whitewash and see if like I can put it on top of my ink, but I think we're just gonna leave him like he is. I'm not sure I would have wanted this line here. I might, I would want to sort of just keep the lines around the outside of the face, and then let this beautiful brushwork, right? This sort of accidental brushwork be the sort of inner shapes. Let's see. Yeah, better, Sandra. You might, Sandra, take a sort of strong outer line to kind of really define just this outer shape, nothing inside, right? But more of a contour line around the outside edge might also help.
I'm always, the thing is that I try to give a fur effect. So if I put an outer line, I'll do that.
Right.
But, and also I have nothing behind it.
Maybe put something behind it.
Like a body, but it's also white.
Or darker, or just go darker, like a background. Yeah, maybe on this, maybe try a little bit of body, not too much. I mean, the body's super simple here. You don't have to, maybe just a few lines to define the body.
Okay.
It's hard when listen, we shifted over pretty quickly because I learned that like having you guys draw with the grid wasn't really helping you learn to measure. So we quickly moved up. That's what beginning drawing is all about, is learning to kind of proportionally measure and get lines in the right places and sort of create construction, right? Like that's the hard part of this. So if it's feeling harder to you, we are getting harder, and you're doing great. And notice I haven't really done very much with the shoe. The shoe is just kind of this set of light and dark lines, because really the focus is on kind of working around the edges of the cat. I'm curious to see what you all come up with. And if you want something different, send me pictures. You want to do other different things? We're going to move to charcoal next week. So nice, strong contrast pictures would be great. It's possible I won't be here next week. I have to check my schedule on that. I'll let you guys know. It's holiday season. Ah, Bettina, nice. 1, 2. I like the measurements.
Reindeer last year around the holidays.
Yeah, you guys find it. So Bettina, what I would do is start working the shape of this, get this shoe darker so that it really shapes the cat and also the background. So get really dark with this shape here. That's what you're going to start with. Oh, before we do that, Bettina, one thing I want to show you. Can you see that your shape comes down a little lower? It should be coming across here. So what I would do, let me see if I can edit this here. So Bettina, what I would do is come on. Yeah. Oh, that worked. Okay. There needs to be kind of up in here. I don't know if you can see this. You're coming down too low, so your cat looks bigger. Darken your shoe shape and bring your shoe up to here using your dark. Here, I'm going to send this over so you can really see it.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. So all you really need to do is bring your dark up here. So I am noticing this about you kind of consistently, Bettina, that you're missing in sort of slightly rounded shapes. You're missing the sharp edges. You're tending to define things as one line rather than seeing the breakdown of the shape across and down. So I want you to pay attention to that as you're working. You've done it a couple times. So it's like here, 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 and here. See that? Everybody could probably use that. That will help make your cat look less fat and more, you know, kind of sort of properly shaped. I kind of got it right. I didn't get it totally right either. If it makes you feel better. I like that edit function, but it's really frustrating to do it with your finger. Like I feel like I can never like get it quite right. When it works, it works.
Hmm.
What if we have a representational itch and we want to do the shoelaces?
And you need to preserve them in white.
Oh. Can't you,
You
use
can-
your pen? Can't you use your pen to just
You totally could. Try that. Try
like
that too.
one loop, one cross,
Yeah. Oh, to do the shoelaces? Sure,
like
Sure.
just off the side? I don't know.
sure. Look at the shapes. I got really bored with those shoelaces. Let's see, what would I do if I got really bored with them. I got very obsessed with the cat itself. Like you would,
Yeah, it's a distraction.
the shoe is really not the fun part of this painting, except that it provides a little bit of, so see, I'm doing this. I'm starting with, oh, okay, don't get too dark. Use more light. Right, here we go. I'm looking at the shapes as much as I can.
Yeah.
Just start darker. Go ahead if you want to. I don't know. I don't know if it really, but yeah, you could totally use your pen. Absolutely. I'm using my brush.
Oh, Julia, that looks great.
Thanks, Sandra. I think his face is a bit long. I'm just trying to squish it up a bit.
Use your pen for that. I agree. Oh, I like how you handled the shoelaces. Very nice. Very nice.
So
It's-
nice to get that art.
It's kind of a little bit thick here, Sandra. See how this edge kind of scoots out
Mm-hmm.
and then it's light in here. So he's looking a little bit lopsided, although I like it. There's things I really like about it. I like how you handled the eyes. Really love how you handle the eyes. Oh,
Yeah.
thanks, Bettina. That's great. Yeah, so you can pull things up a little bit. You know, if you, Julia, if you take the line here and extend it out a little bit on either side, where this, can you see where I'm pointing? Like literally right here. That will shorten his face a little bit. So you have it, it's right here. For you, it's right here. If you kind of extend that out and up, that will shorten his face enough. Here, maybe with your pen. Oops. You're getting there, Lisa. One, two. It's coming. The eye is really, you have this going on. You're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And really, it's more straight across and down.
Okay.
Also, his nose is a little bit wider.
Okay.
So it's more, yeah. So you're curving, and you're curving more than you need to. It's looking good though.
Okay.
It's coming along.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'll be right back, you guys. Hang on. Okay. That's nice, Sandra. That helps a lot. Yeah, I think he needed a little body there. It's because he's so light, you kind of need these outer, if he was darker, you wouldn't necessarily need the stronger contour lines on the outside, but I think that helps. Let's see. Oh yeah, Julia, do you see that? That helps. Yep, yep, yep. Oh, I like this one a lot. I like this one a lot. I'm looking to see if there's anything else we can do.
I think I'm going to declare it done because I might destroy it if I do any more.
Yeah, I see exactly. You know, I really love this one. Can I post it on Instagram? I love that.
As
All right,
opposed to yours,
excellent.
Emilia.
What's that?
As opposed to yours.
As opposed to, well, I never post my stuff. I mean, I rarely post my stuff. Yeah, no, her stuff is, no, it's good. I'm just getting you to a certain point. My job is not to necessarily make a beautiful piece. It's to get you guys to where you need to be. I really like that one, but I have a roaming studio Instagram. At some point, you all will be featured there. So it would be good if you followed it. I'll send it over so I can tag you. I believe Julia is following it already. I'll send it over. It's there's my own, which I do for my own work. But then there's this Instagram for the
Yeah, that's
for
great,
the roaming
Julia.
studio. It's lovely. Nice. And Julia, you've got 20 minutes left, so either you could just kick back and have a beer, or like try something else, or try it quickly again. You have 20 minutes. So what can you do in 20 minutes? Do you have another thing you want to try? Like that's like the kind of joy of this.
I'm going to do something. I have done no art for a week. I've been surrounded by builders and dust and crap.
Oh,
So it's just nice.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, at some point or other, you guys will all be featured on Instagram. Everybody does great work here at The Electric Life of Louis Wayne. Thank you. So how was his life sad, Bettina? Was he lonely? Was he poor?
So he was odd.
Right.
And he and his wife have a cat, whom they anthropomorphize as she's struggling with cancer.
Mm.
So the beautiful story about, you know, finding joy.
Mhm.
Well, meaning and beauty,
Yeah, sounds interesting.
but sad. He loses his wife. Sorry, you're
I
gonna.
don't know what I want to watch.
Yeah, it sounds, Sandra, maybe tough, but it's a tough movie. But it so interesting. Like his drawings just were so successful.
Right.
And I mean, I don't know if you can just look up some of his images.
Here, let's see. I'll do it now. But you guys are working.
And you know, in the movie, they use his actual drawings.
Oh my word, that is not what I was expecting.
Yeah, right?
That was not what I was expecting.
What were you expecting?
Something more realistic. Look at this, you guys. This is freaking crazy. Here, hold on. I'm going to show you. This is not like anything. Here. There's a, I know it's a Google image, so I'd have to actually pull it up. If you click on the link, let's see if I can like download the image. It's so funny.
Well, so right, so he was for magazines, right? So he had to they're popular. They're kind of send-ups. Like he did men
Look at
sitting
this.
in train cars as cats, right? Seeing people as cats, and
Wow, that is not what I was expecting. That's so fun. Look at that.
and my gosh. Then there's some that show more of when later in life they get looser and looser and more like energy.
Mhm. Yeah, I saw that, the kaleidoscope cat. That is
Yeah.
a trip.
Um, the earlier one is just seeing them doing human things. Like, I don't know, do you see the one of them playing instruments? It's much more realistic.
Yeah.
Louis Wayne cats playing instruments.
Well, even so, that's just really trippy.
Right, there's some, the cats are decorating a Christmas tree.
Ooh, Sandra, nice.
Very
Did you
quick
just
one.
quickly resketch? Yes. See, that's
Yeah,
why
very
I think it's
quickly.
worth it to try a resketch. Just because even if you're like, I'm bored and frustrated and blah, 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 it helps you totally address this whole, I mean, you nailed it. That's
No, but I plan
exactly-
to do this one. This is the whole body,
Yeah.
except I don't do the shoe.
Yeah, I like that. See how what happens as you, the nice thing about ink is we have this opportunity to quickly redo, kind of based on, I mean, maybe I could do that too if I wanted
It didn't
to. Let's
feel
see.
like I was redoing because I planned this one all along. I
Right.
just-
But you did revisit the image and
Oh, completely,
you
yeah.
solved a little thing, you solved some issues in the shape of the face,
And I'm
in
sure I
the
made
shape of
progress.
this. You got looser, right? In the, I love it. I think, and the proportions were really good.
'Cause I'm in a hurry.
So, yeah, because you're in a hurry and because you've learned from your first one, right? We learned from our first one about, that's really great. So interesting. Bettina, his face is a little bit too long.
I don't
The
know how
reason
I
I,
would fix it.
well, you may not be able to, although you might be able to just scrub out like I did with a little bit of paper towel and water. And you need to, and then move up his, but look at this. I want you to look at measurements. If you look here, you'll see that the length of the eye, if I put it on its side and I put it to where the tip of the nose is, it kind of, this is one eye length on its side. From, yep. So what I would do is scrub out a little bit, see if you, and move it up just to see how it looks.
How do you scrub? You mean you get
With
I have been
paper
doing
towel.
it all session. Look, watch me. I have a little bit of paper towel. And I'm like just going right in and
Make it
taking
wet.
out. Yeah, make the towel wet. And I'm scrubbing the line out so it's not so strong. And then you can move it up. So Jackie, your job is to start getting darker. Good job.
Oh, that's
I
just
think-
a pencil sketch. I
Oh,
was
that's
just,
a pencil sketch. Oh, how interesting.
because
I
I just
thought
wanted
so.
to get the proportions right. So I just grabbed some newsprint.
Yep. Great. This is a great thing to do. This is a wonderful thing to do. Great. The proportions are right.
Cool.
And look at Sandra's proportions. They're pretty much perfect. Like, I just feel like it's so interesting how in the second take, we learn so much, right?
Everything we did wrong before.
Yeah, but that's what the point of ink is, right? You go quick and you have time to do it again, to like sort of, even if you're like, I'm sick of this image completely.
But it's not doing it again. It's a different one.
Well, but it's working off of what you, it's working
Right.
off of what you started with. So it's working off of your previous work. It is absolutely connected to the previous work that you did.
This is the image.
It's you're learning from the image. So as you do it again, whereas like a pencil drawing is a little bit, you can go back and forth, it's a little bit more tedious. I'm kind of like, just work the pencil drawing until you get it. But with ink, there's only so much you can do. Then you try it again. and you go fast. So you can do it again and learn again. I'm working on this giant 8-foot canvas right now of a bridge that I painted a bunch of times. And I noticed that I made, and I've done several watercolor sketches that are tiny. They're about this big, like 5 by 7, to kind of get composition and to get sort of colors and things. And I noticed this, the way this bridge was, that like, you're kind of looking at the bridge from the bottom. So the girders are big here, and then they go across the river, so they get smaller and smaller. There's a bunch of really pain in the ass perspective. And I noticed that in the watercolor sketch, I totally struggled with making the bridge wide enough, the bottom of the bridge wide enough, closest to me, because intellectually I couldn't like wrap my mind around that concept. So anyway, I fixed it on the watercolor sketch, and then I made the same mistake on the big 8-foot painting. So I had to just go back in and fix that. I'm like, it's interesting how your everything that you do before informs. And then I finally realized, oh, this is what I did. What a mistake. Wow. So everything is like connected to the thing you did before.
Yes, it all builds upon.
It builds upon it. Mhm. Yeah, that works. That's better, Bettina. Better. So see how you kind of are able to bring it up. And then I would go in with your pen and try to create some darker lines here around the shape of the eye.
Okay.
Good. But I think you did some good drawing problem solving. And remember, everybody's coming at this in from a different place, right? You all have different skill levels, different like experience levels, like all of that is playing into how well these lessons go. But you'll find as you return to it, you'll find that like you'll learn as you, so don't be so stressed out. I mean, you know, every time we come back to ink, it does a certain thing. Every time we come back to ink in a year, you're going to be surprised at how different it is than when it was when you started a year ago. Right, Sandra? I think we can totally say
Yeah,
that.
completely. I
For
don't
you,
think I
it's
enjoyed it the first time around.
no, because like you were still working on your drawing. I mean, we're always working on our drawing, right? But your drawing was in a different place. So let that also know that like when we return to this again, God, I don't know, maybe in March, who knows, we'll see. Whenever we feel like it, really, that you'll be in a different, that you'll have learned a lot, that going through these things helps in the scheme.
Something happened.
That wasn't good. That wasn't a good sound.
No, something pretty bad.
Oh, yeah.
Good. You know, when you have a dark outline, and I was painting inside the eyes,
Yeah.
the dark outline bled into the eye.
Yeah, that happened to me. But if you scrub that out pretty quickly, then it just gives you more iris, kind of more fun iris.
Yes, but
Like coloration. So that's actually something that can be fixed if you grab it soon enough.
sometimes it works really well. In this case, it was too dark, but sometimes it makes fantastic iris. As you said.
Doesn't it? Like it gives you this variation that you'd never get on your own. Yep.
And it's a darker eye, so I'm lucky.
We've got about 5 or 7 minutes left, you guys, so. Make a decision, try a new thing. Yeah, what can you do in 7 minutes? This is a good
A
thing
lot.
to learn. What can you do in 7 minutes, right? Versus what takes an hour. I feel like measurements take longer. What can you do in 7 minutes? Yeah, a lot. You can do a
Something you
lot in
don't
7
measure.
minutes. It's a good understanding of organically how long it takes to do something. I'm really learning that on this big 8-foot painting because it takes like, I'm just used to going, okay, I'm gonna paint the sky. It takes like a couple minutes, maybe 5 minutes, you know, but with a 8-foot painting, which is like 1/2 sky, it takes like 20 or 30 minutes to paint the sky. I'm like, oh my God, it's like never gonna be good. It looks terrible. It looks terrible. But then I just learned, oh yeah, it just takes longer to do the thing that only takes a couple minutes on a smaller piece. It's funny. So you learn to pace yourself, right? How long does it take? Because otherwise it's disheartening. You're like, oh, it should be looking better sooner. One more second. Let's take two or three more minutes and then send you wherever you are, whatever you're working on, send it in. Let's share.
Has anyone been vaccinated against the flu?
I haven't, or nor shingles.
Oh, the
I
shingles.
did,
I did. The flu
Yeah.
or shingles?
flu.
And did you get sick?
I did it the same time as my booster.
Oh, so you
Uh,
did get sick.
So I got a fever, which I, for a few hours that I think came from
The booster.
the booster. So I didn't really feel the flu one, I don't
I'm
think.
getting the flu today, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Ah,
I've never gotten a reaction to the flu shot.
Also, I had the flu and the booster in different arms, and
Ah,
I didn't have any symptoms around the flu arm, but did for the booster arm.
ah,
yeah, the booster
interesting.
made me really sick. So I'm
Really?
glad yeah, yeah. But I
Like
had fever for 2 days.
for the day?
2 days.
Oh.
But I didn't do, yes, yeah. Yeah.
Did you mix them, Sandra? Did you have different jabs? Because they say if you have different
Yeah,
jabs,
actually I did more than mix them. Are you still recording, Leah?
Yes. Oh, let me stop. Let me stop recording and then we'll, yep.